Welcome to another episode of The Doctor and the Dork, everybody. This is Frank here, checking in with my co-host Olivia.
Hi, everyone.
So this week we have plenty to go over with you guys. We've had quite the week. It's actually been a lot of fun. I think Olivia has a lot of stuff for you guys this week because I'm sure you got tired of me talking your ears off last week. So I'm just going to hand this over to Olivia and let her run wild.
All right, I'm ready to run. Yeah, so we did a lot this week, especially this weekend. First thing I want to touch on is our blueberry picking, because if you listen to one of our older episodes, we went strawberry picking, and I was pretty unimpressed with the farm that we went to. But this week for our blueberry picking, we went to Belltown Orchards, which I'm just going to say, pristine picking, good prices, free tractor ride, big fields, pleasant people, all around 10 out of 10 star experience.
I have to say I agree with Olivia. They're based out of Glastonbury, and truth be told, I think they had a far superior picking experience to Lyman Orchards based out of Middletown there. And I grew up going to Lyman Orchards, so, I just had that stigma that they were just the best thing around the block. And come to find out that other places are charging a whole lot less, and you get a tractor ride. I mean,
who doesn't
kind
want
of baller,
a tractor ride? Yeah, so that was pretty good. We picked a bunch of berries. It was only like $3.99 a pound, so we got like 4 quarts of blueberries for less than $20. It was a really good deal. Baked some blueberry muffins, ate some in my oatmeal, the works.
Mucho delicioso.
So something about that blueberry farm brings me to talk about my herb farm that's been growing in my windowsill.
Poorly growing in your windowsill, I might add.
For maybe 3 months. So the first month, I'd say, was a little rough. I had a couple things that were flourishing and a couple things that I was convinced were never going to grow. They were just plots of soil. And then there were a couple weeks where I would say everything was actually doing pretty good.
Well, I don't know. So you got 6 herbs, and one of them was
my cilantro and my parsley were flourishing.
No, what's the one that had like the 3 little strings and that was it?
It's my chives. They still only have 3 little strings.
The chives never grew, all right? I don't know if we got bad chives or if we just don't know how to grow chives, but it seems pretty straightforward. Seeds, water, good soil, right? But for whatever reason, they never took off.
So I didn't really do any kind of teach yourself how to grow an herb garden. I just went to the store, bought seeds, dirt, and then planted them. Which, how much more skill can it really involve? Everything was going good. I'll tell you when my herbs really took a downfall was when I was like, I don't really want cilantro, but what I do want is basil. And what was happening was my cilantro was hogging all the nutrients from the basil. So I decided to chop out some cilantro and transplant it. And ever since then, it's really been all downhill. But now, my cilantro has started to turn into this new flowering plant. So if anyone knows anything about herbs, I tried to watch some videos on YouTube about it, and I did not find anything, but I did find a couple of really interesting things from this lady who was teaching kids how to grow stuff. Did you know if you chop celery, the bottom half, like how it all sprouts off here, all the celery sprouts out?
Yeah.
If you chop off the bottom, you can stick that bottom piece in a glass of water and new celery will splurt from it.
So you can So is this like the hack to get out of going to the grocery store for celery?
That's what I understood. You could do the same thing with a head of lettuce. It's got that kind of bottom part.
I wonder if Hooters, like all the wings places that give you carrots and lettuce and celery. Yeah. Jesus. I wonder if they got a little operation going on growing celery.
This is interesting because when I worked at the pizza shop, we would keep our celery in water. But that was the celery that was already chopped up, and I think that just made it last a little longer. But let me tell you, if that man knew that we could have produced our own celery, I guarantee we would have been producing our own rather than buying it from Cisco or wherever it was we were getting it from.
Costco. And buying it in bulk.
But, so that happened with my herbs, and they also weren't doing so hot because I spent most of my weekend at Frankie's, and then my herbs go without water, care, love, and affection. But
you can't make me just stand over, just breathing heavily, just grow.
Giving them all my CO2 so they can give me some O2 back.
I feel you on the growing, though, because my raspberries were doing really good this year, and I thought I was going to have a ton of them.
Then the Japanese beetles
Japanese beetles did a number on my berries, and Anyway, but yeah, so my raspberries, but you know what? I grew a ton of new plants this year. I went out and counted them the other day, and I got over 20 new raspberry plants. And I'm like, wow, come next spring, like next summer, those things are going to be crazy.
I bet you're still going to get a lot more berries. It's
I got all season.
Start.
It's still beginning of raspberry season, so they intermittently pop up. But
beyond blueberry picking this weekend, Frank and I went bicycling with his parents, which we haven't really discussed a lot, and this podcast seems like a good place to do it.
That's because Olivia hates biking because it's a trap.
Here's what's happened. Frankie told his parents that I hate biking, which I'd say is 60% true. I hate biking with Frankie because he's always got a point to prove. But on this cycling ride with his parents, he didn't prove any points. We got to go a nice, leisurely pace. It was very enjoyable. We were not trying to race anybody or climb up any Mount Everest. So I just wanted to say it was a very...
Well, truth be told, all right, so the first time Olivia and I went biking...
Let's hear your point of view from this.
So shout out to Jen and Charlotte. They're my other biking partners. I know you guys listen. So hi, Charlotte. Hi, Jen. I took Olivia biking over on the Southington, Cheshire, Farmington Canal Trail there. And truth be told, I settled into my typical pace and figuring
100 miles per
100
hour.
miles an hour, nothing. So we were doing like a 14 to 16 mile an hour pace, which yes is fast, but is typically my cruising pace. And I figured that would be okay for Olivia. And keep in mind, she said she was okay. And I don't know if she was trying to prove the points here. She claims it was me, but again, this was my leisure pace. And this was apparently her death pace.
Wow, you're really throwing me under the bus.
Oh, heck
here.
yeah, you're going to tell me I was proving points? No way. So, obviously, it started out good until we turned around. We ended up, I think we did 16 miles that day?
Yeah, I was pretty good until about the 11th mile.
Yeah. So, coupled with the fact that the very next time we went riding was with my neighbors, who are all older than us. I mean, literally old enough to be our parents. So we go riding with them, and I'm expecting when I ride with them, typically they ride like a 12 to 14 mile an hour pace. I tell Olivia this. She's like, okay. And we take off, and I swear I've never seen them bike this fast before. It was hilarious. Shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Schmidt, my neighbors, because they were just killing it that day. I mean, we held literally an 18 to 20 mile an hour pace all over Meriden, Connecticut, which has got all kinds of stupid hills.
Not what I signed up for.
Yeah, no, that was less than favorable. So, truth be told, I gave Olivia a terrible taste of biking, and I'm quite happy I was able to redeem it finally by biking with my parents this past weekend. So, we all had a good time as far as I'm concerned.
And then after bicycling, we went motorcycling.
Yeah, we were tryharding with all the biking this weekend.
Yeah, we looked pretty cool with all the motorcyclers, though you would have thought it was Frankie's first time driving a motorcycle.
I was acting real brand new all day. I stalled out at one point, and then another time I got to the light and I stopped it in second. And now you got two of us on the bike now. Typically I can pull it off in second gear, but I was like, oh no, this isn't going to work this time. I was like, I'm not trying to stall it again. And then I'm over here fumbling around trying to downshift at a light like an idiot. Everyone else is going. I was like, oh God.
Then you forgot to do your chin strap and you pulled over and then your gloves fell off.
Dropping my gloves. Yeah.
Meanwhile, the rest of the biker gang is like, where is Frankie?
They're all thinking I'm the youngest guy in the group. We're both the youngest in the group.
Yeah.
We're just over here looking brand new motorcycling. It's like, okay, let's never invite these people again because we just look like scrubs.
Well, whatever, because your bike looked cool enough to make up for that.
I know.
So. Yours and your dad's definitely have the coolest
sexy
bike.
BMW mixed in with a Hayabusa.
Yeah.
My dad's Hayabusa is actually pretty badass.
Yeah, it actually is pretty
Coupled with the fact that thing literally looks like it rolled off the lot every time he rides it.
Yeah, it's very shiny.
He's down there spit shining that thing like every night, I'm pretty sure. So if he ever hears this, he'll laugh. But yeah, so... Coupled with, while we were on the bike ride, we decided we were going to go hit a couple of breweries. So we went to, what was it? Brewery Legitimus, right?
You actually remembered it.
Yeah, I know. I struggled with that for a second. I was thinking it was going to be Brewery something or another.
Laboratory or something.
Yeah. I keep
usually
going.
What you call it?
I keep going. I can never remember the name of that place. But honestly, I usually like that brewery, but they were very swamped when we went, and they were very understaffed this past
Yeah,
time.
I think the breweries are having a hard time adjusting to this waitressing and waitering. They're used to people coming up to the bar and getting your drinks on the spot, and now they're having to take your order, go back to the bar, fill it, and then bring it back over. And
Yeah,
I think they're just understaffed, to be honest.
I really feel for them on that front because it's a lot of work for them, especially they had to quickly figure out how to suddenly become waiters and waitresses when typically they're just bartenders. I mean, I don't mean to say just bartenders, but typically they can hang out behind the bar and people just come to them, like you said. But now they're running around trying to remember people's drink orders.
Yeah.
And you got tables of like 12 showing up. I mean, we had what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we had 8 people. Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, we had a full group and just. Yeah, they like gave us someone else's drink orders and like gave.
And then
them...
I felt bad because it's Corona. Usually you'd be like, oh, you just grab it back real quick if they hadn't touched it. But it's coronavirus season. Once that drink touches the table, it ain't going to no one else.
But yeah, so we did Brewery Legitimus, which I think the group was kind of let down by. It was slow. We sat in the sun.
Too, yeah.
And it was like, okay. So we shoved off to
the Little Red Barn.
Yes, the Little Red Barn
Loved
Brewery.
it. 10 out of 10. Would recommend.
We showed up into the parking lot, and I don't know if the band just said, okay, these guys showed up. Time to piss off. But we show up, and like the band that's playing, we're all taking our motorcycle gear off, we're getting ready to walk up, and the band just packs up and leaves.
To be fair, I think they were getting close to closing time anyway.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, that was a really nice bar, and that's out. So the Brewery Legitimus is out towards like New Hartford, New Canaan, Canton area. So like north of Hartford, west of 91 North there. And then just north of that is where we found this other place, the Little Red Barn Brewery, which I have to say, 10 out of 10. I loved that brewery.
We got a cider, which was okay. We didn't really try the beer, so we can't rank the beer. But the service, we got our drinks so quick. I think we got 2 rounds of drinks in the time it took the first place to get us 1 round.
Yeah, honestly.
And there was a food truck there, and they brought food straight to our table. It was really good service.
Truth be told, we ordered, and by the time the guy walked away, there was already someone coming back with our drinks. Yeah. And then we walked over and we ordered food from the food truck, and they had this kid manning the table. Yeah, manning the counter.
Questionably 13 years old.
But you know what? I like it.
I knew Frankie saw himself in there.
I was like, what a kid. His parents must hate him. So, yeah, but they got our food out real quick, and it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, for a little food truck stand.
And we got, what was it, 2 cheeseburgers, a hot dog, a bunch of
mac and cheese with pulled pork on top.
And it only came out to like $30, which I know some people are like, oh, that's a lot. But truth be told, for a food truck sitting in a parking lot at a brewery, I was expecting like a $50 bill for that.
Everything would be overpriced.
So that was pretty cheap across the board. So, and we had a nice spot next to the river there. Well, it's like a drainage river, I guess, that runs through downtown.
I guess, but it was still nice and shady. They did a good job where they put the tables because it was all kind of shaded area back in that parking lot.
But yeah, we were out for we left at like 1:40, and I didn't get home until like 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
No, it was like actually closer to 7:30 for me. I dropped you off for a little before 7.
Yeah, because we didn't leave the brewery till like right when they were closing, and it took us a good hour to get back.
They closed at 6, and we left there at like just before like 5:45.
Yeah.
Took us an hour and change to get back. Mm-hmm. So that wasn't too bad though. So
I feel like we should also give Urban Lodge a shout out. We went the night before there, but we got to try their new sour. They had a pineapple mango sour.
Yes.
It was pretty good, but I'm not gonna lie, their raspberry sour is just so good.
I don't know if it's how they make the raspberry sour.
I think it's just the raspberry.
Or if it's the raspberries themselves.
I think the raspberries add a nice hint of sweetness to it.
The Urban Lodge raspberry sour, guys. If you're ever passing through Manchester and you see the Lucky Taco sign, pull off next to Lucky Taco and go get yourself a nice sour beer, because summertime sour beers are just honestly the way to go. They're delicious. They hit the spot. And, Urban Lodge really got it going on. They're a little pricey, but you know what? Mm-hmm. It's worth it on a hot summer day.
Yeah. And when Corona's gone, you can go inside, play some games, enjoy the atmosphere. It's even better.
The other brewery that I really like that we haven't been to in a while was Front Porch Brewery in Wallingford.
Front Porch.
So
Yeah, we went. They had I want to go. Actually, I want to go soon because it's been strawberry season. I wonder if they have that strawberry crop circle beer. That was the best beer I ever had. We went back and I had another beer and it wasn't quite as good, but like that one was for beer. That was real delicious.
yeah, that place is it's right off of Route 5 there in Wallingford. So that's another really good one, Urban Lodge. And there's a cider place right now. It's like the
I haven't been to that
Wallingford
either.
Cider House or something. I forget the name of it, but it's literally like 3 buildings up.
I'm going to do a huge disservice to all of this nice brewery talk, and I'm going to bring up 2 things to ask you.
Yes.
One, have you ever had Natter Days?
No.
Like natty lights that are strawberry lemonade flavored?
No. What the hell
well,
is
they're
that?
like actually pretty good.
Nothing with
Natter
natty light
Days.
is good.
That's what you say. But when I was in Baltimore visiting my friend, we got some Natter Days, and I was like, there's no way this fratty beer is going to taste okay. And it's all right.
Frat beer, that is like trailer park. This is my last dollar
Well, my
beer.
follow-up to that is somebody posted a picture today of Bush apple, and I'm guessing it's supposed to be like an apple-flavored Bush beer. And I'm about to try it, so I'll keep you all posted.
Some of these beer companies need
on
to
that.
just take one step back and really rethink their
Listen,
lives.
I'm gonna pour you a little glass. I'm gonna hide the cans, but I'm gonna pour you a glass of Natter Day and a
You know what
glass
I
of
think?
Bush apple.
You know what I think started all of these mixed drinks is
The hard seltzer stuff.
Yeah, the
Truly?
White Claws.
White Claws, yeah.
Truly and White Claw. You guys started this.
Here's a question for you: what came first, White Claw or Truly?
Ooh,
We'll follow up on that next week.
I don't know actually.
But that reminds me, I do want to follow up this week that Sunny D, in fact, contains 0% of vitamin D. So I just wanted to clarify that. I did not search if I could drive my Honda Civic around without a door, so we'll have to get back to you on that.
we also we got to look into that. So,
But I think that's enough for our weekend review,
I think
right?
the only other thing is that we did a nice hike out here in Manchester.
Oh, yeah.
So just to go over the hike, what's the name of the place, babe?
Porter Reservoir in Manchester.
Okay, so yeah, we pulled off. It's very, if you don't know it's there, you're definitely going to drive by.
Yeah, 100%.
So highly recommend following your GPS, otherwise you're not going to find this, because there's no really big signs. It's just
I
like
don't
a
think there is
pull-off.
a sign.
Yeah, it's literally pull off onto a dirt road, and
Yeah.
then there's like a single trail
A
sign.
little opening. Yeah.
Which highly recommend, but guys, be careful out there while you're hiking, because we went hiking through some tall grass and I ended up with a tick on me, and now I can't tell if I'm slowly dying from Lyme disease.
He is, and he refuses to just call his doctor and get a script, typical
Look,
man. Because he's got to make a big production out of calling the doctor.
Yeah, it's a big thing. This is a week-long process. I gotta spend Monday through Wednesday building up the nerve to call him. And then, then I got to make the plan to, go visit him, 2 months from now.
And then you're going to have to go to the pharmacy, or it's going to be a whole nother...
I won't even do that. He better just send the script to my house, or it's not happening. I'm just going to die from Lyme, I guess. Imagine that, dying from Lyme disease instead of corona.
I don't recommend doing that.
Yeah, no, that's probably
But that's
bad.
actually going to transition us pretty well into my doctor segment.
Yeah?
Because I wanted to talk about this plague situation that
All right.
allegedly is
Doctor
being
time.
transferred by, some squirrels have it right now, they found. So Frankie sent me this article that some squirrels, I forget in what state, but have
Colorado
have been found to have the plague.
That's right, folks. Don't trust the freaking squirrels.
And then I wasn't really interested in that, mostly because I hate squirrels and they deserve to have the plague because they infested my attic. Earlier, my
not even your
ceiling.
attic, your ceiling and your walls in your tiny apartment. Nah, that's mean. I would say your apartment. But this apartment has essentially 3 rooms.
Hardly.
And one of them infested, they infested an entire room's ceiling,
Yeah.
specifically the bedroom.
Yeah, which is very inconvenient.
But I'll let you go back to the
Anyways.
plague here, because this is very concerning to me.
So then I read another article came up in my news today about the 2 patients have been detected in China to have the plague, and I was like, wow, that's not a good sign. Once the plague is popping up in multiple places, that's not a great sign. So I actually did some investigation into the plague situation. I read actually that 7 patients a year in the U.S. have the plague.
Really?
Which 7 I realize is hardly anything, but still 7.
But considering it's the bubonic plague,
So then,
I mean, didn't this literally destroy Europe?
yeah, so
Back in the day?
yeah, it can be really bad. So apparently you're most likely to get it from fleas. which
Okay.
I didn't know. So that's kind of how I was
I
tying
knew
into
that
ticks.
because that's how it was originally
Or
transmitted.
if you eat squirrel, which is what they were doing in China,
What?
allegedly.
Okay, that's
I
it.
don't know.
I imagine that's happening in the South, but like in not China, but like actually like
You can
southern
treat
US.
it though. You can get antibiotics for it. Ironically, ideally,
Like
I read
penicillin?
streptomycin, which is like one of your aminoglycosides, which I know means nothing to
The
you, but
what?
like your gentamicin. But another alternative to that, because most countries don't have enough streptomycin saved up for this kind of situation, is doxycycline, which is the same thing you use to treat Lyme disease when you get a tick bite.
Yeah, but don't you also use doxycycline for everything? Because they gave me that for like skin medication.
In pharmacy school, they say, when in doubt, doxy out, because it covers a whole lot of things.
Apparently, it's just good for everything.
But yeah, so interesting. I was reading an article about the one in China, and they're like, do we think this is going to cause some sort of pandemic worldwide? And they were like, no, definitely not. And I was like, yo, it's 2020.
Yeah, but they probably thought that about Corona too.
100%.
And that, here we are now.
So that's pretty interesting. The other article that came up that I thought I'd briefly touch on was that the FDA found that half of CBD substances that they tested positive for THC.
Is it like notable levels, or is this like, because I mean they come from the same plant, so I imagine it's pretty hard to separate them completely.
I suppose it is, but if you're going to advertise a product as being CBD only, it better be CBD only.
That's true.
Which then brings into question, I'm not sure what the answer on this is, but is there medical grade marijuana, like medical grade CBD oil? I don't know.
I imagine, because so they're doing some freaky stuff with marijuana these days, gene splicing it in the labs and whatnot to make the strain stronger. So I imagine, in turn, if they're doing that to boost THC levels, because there's a whole bunch of, what are they, cannabinoids?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Inside those plants.
Yeah.
And I imagine if you're boosting one of them, some of them the others have to be getting some sort of boost.
My theory would be if you need a green card for a state or whatever they're calling it, the medical marijuana card, then you would think there'd have to be some sort of regulation, but at the same time, federally, it's still an illegal substance, so I don't think they're going to make a pharmaceutical grade CBD product, you know what I mean? Anyways, I didn't research that. I'm just going to say be careful, find that article, find one that was tested 100%.
I wonder if it affects you if you're using like a CBD balm on like your elbow because it's sore, because it's supposed to like help with inflammation.
I don't know a good story. My one of the people I work with, he got asked by Pfizer to help do some research to see how much topical is absorbed into your system, which is like real tricky to do. Like he's going to really be extrapolating some data to come up with those numbers.
Just guesswork here.
And my boss was like, I hope you told them no, essentially, because you can't know. And he's like, I asked them how much they were going to be paying me an hour. I was like, all right, fair enough. So I'm interested to see what he kind of comes up with that.
Hey, I'm with it. If there's a will, there's a way. I imagine, much like anything else in life, you throw enough money at it, you can figure it out. You just got to have enough money.
And I guess I'll touch on my one last thing that I did some investigating on. So each week for the podcast, I always log on to the FDA site just to see if there's any cool new drugs out there or new drug safety warnings. And there was a new drug safety warning that came out in the past couple months for Singular. Some of you guys might know as Montelukast.
The what? Can you say that again?
Montelukast.
What's that?
Most commonly used for allergies, especially in patients who have coexisting asthma. So it was something my doctor had thought about a while prescribing me, but I never got it. But there's a black box warning, and for all of those of you who are not pharmacists or doctors and don't know what a black box warning is,
I have no idea.
it's basically the most serious warning the FDA can give for a side effect before taking it off the market. So it's basically like, if you're going to prescribe this to someone, you better be sure the benefits are outweighing this risk.
So what kind of risks are we talking here? Am I growing a third eyeball or another arm?
It's actually mental disorders. So it's causing depression, nightmares, anxiety, a lot of stuff you wouldn't expect to come along with an allergy medication.
That sounds like every other medication out there, though. That's like,
I guess.
Here's a medication to cure your coughing, but it gives you AIDS, cancer, makes your arms fall off, and you go blind, deaf, and dumb all overnight. But you'll never cough again.
But I guess this one's most interesting to me because this drug's used a lot in your pediatric population, so for a lot of your kids. So something you definitely want to be careful about. You know, they say these days the average kid is at a higher risk of anxiety and depression anyway. So better make, try your Singulair, or try your Claritin, try your Zyrtec. Why not give them a shot before you venture into that instead.
All right, guys. Well,
but let's turn it over to the dork.
All right. Well, thank you, Olivia.
You're
I
welcome.
like your segment this
Thank
week,
you.
actually. That's a whole lot better than what I got this week, guys. So last week I had a bit more onto the gaming systems, but this week I have some interesting tech info for all of you iPhone users out there. So the conspiracy theory is true. iPhone got caught red-handed slowing our freaking phones down.
Rip.
All right? They got caught. Ha! In your face, Apple.
Still doesn't
All
bring
right?
my iPhone 6 back.
I know. I'm still reveling in this. But anyway, guys. So they're giving out. So their settlement, I guess it's a class action lawsuit.
Yeah.
They're settling for $500 million. So currently out there, if you guys just Google this, there is a $25 claim you can get for registering your old iPhones if you still have them, if you didn't turn them in. Which I feel like the vast majority...
You can actually look up your phone, though, with
Oh.
your information. I still had my phone, so I still had my serial number, but there was a way to look up using your Apple ID any registered phone under your name.
Oh, okay. So even better.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys had any of these iPhone 6s and iPhone SE, I think it included the 7 and the 8 as well.
Yeah, it did.
You guys might need to read the article on it. But you can get $25 per phone, so get it while it lasts, because they said if everyone will get $25 up to $500 million, and then they're going to start cutting the payments down.
Yeah, for all you guys who are
So-
filing for that Equifax claim, which you're supposed to get $100, then they followed up and they were like, oh, well, you also need to fill out this, that, and the other thing.
So I got another one of another tech company catching some shit, and this is another one that's near and dear here in Connecticut, and it's you, Frontier, all right? So Frontier got caught red-handed out in Washington State by the Attorney General for slowing down their internet speeds and lying to customers about their prices and their internet speeds when it comes to whether it's your your internet, your phone, and your cable.
Wow.
And they got caught red-handed across the board. And I don't know what's going to come of the case, but there was a news article that is currently still populating, I guess, about this. So feel free to look that one up, because you know what? If they're doing it in Washington State, that means they're probably doing it everywhere.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. When I moved to Connecticut, I almost got Frontier because it was so much cheaper than Cox was. But then I was, going to the only place I get my information, Reddit. And everybody was like, don't do it. They're the worst ever. It's so slow. So many problems.
Bad. I had them for a long time. And truth be told, my internet speed on my phone with AT&T was faster than my paid internet for Frontier in my own house.
That's not good.
And I could be sitting next to the router.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, screw Frontier. Don't use them. And be wary if you do have them, because they're totally duping you, and there's proof of it now. So the last thing I have was a nice quick thing about talking about our childhood movies. Now, I was born in 1993. Olivia here is a little bit older than me with 1992.
Yeah,
But us 90s and 80s babies, I feel like a lot of us grew up with the Sci-Fi Channel. Who remembers sitting around at their house or at their grandparents' house watching the Sci-Fi Channel? I only bring this up because maybe it was just me and my grandfather was just being evil, but I loved it. Well, not at first, because I was terrified. But
does the Sci-Fi Channel still exist?
yes, very much so. They still roll out like D-grade movies that are like Sharknado, except like Sharknado was actually not terrible. It was more of like a comedy put onto a horror sci-fi film. But like the following sequels were were really terrible, and that's some serious Sci-Fi Channel level stuff. But the Sci-Fi Channels where I grew up watching It, I watched Chucky, I watched Predator, I watched Alien, all these movies that actually terrified me as a child. I mean, like, literally traumatized me. Couldn't sleep. It was hilarious. Looking back, I love these movies now. But I even still, like, they had, like, October, they have their horror flick month-long thing.
Ugh.
But they do, like, Stargate Atlantis all month, and they had, The Librarians?
I've only known one thing that you've listed so far.
There's all kinds of great shows around there. But I just wanted to ask if I'm the only one out here that has been watching the Sci-Fi Channel. How about you, Olivia? You got anything?
No.
You never watched it?
I caught some of Chucky once when I was younger, Child's Play, whatever it was, and I hated that. It scared
What a
me so
great
much.
movie. This little redheaded stepchild doll running around
no.
stabbing everybody. And I remember when Chucky put a dude in a trash compactor. Talk about terrifying.
I don't like Chucky. I feel like it was something I watched when my parents weren't home, and then I immediately regretted it. But I think that mostly wraps up some of our content. I was going to give some updates on where the folks can find us and our communication methods.
Yeah, let them have it, Olivia, because, guys, we are expanding rapidly, and you got to keep up with us.
We sure are. So we got our classic Podbean, which y'all already know. Then we were on Spotify, which the conspiracy has been nixed. We're back on. They do miss some of our first few episodes, so we're resolving that now. But you can still find us there. We're on YouTube. But the big exciting one, we're officially on Apple Podcasts.
Guys, we are on Apple.
Woo-hoo.
We are legit now. We're like a thing.
So if you type in the Doctor and the Dork on Apple Podcasts, you can find us. Go ahead, subscribe, leave us a 5-star review. You know what? Even if you want to be a critic and say lots of mean things, but still click the 5 stars. That'd be really appreciated.
Heck, I'll take any stars. But seriously, guys, thank you to all of our friends and family. We're doing this, for you guys and for us because we're having a good time for it. I know we don't have a ton to bring to the table right now, but we're getting better at this.
Yeah.
I hope you guys get a good chuckle out of listening to us bicker back and forth here. But we have a good time with this. We hope you do too. And I just want to give a shout out to any new listeners. Thank you guys for joining us. And
if you don't know us, thank you for listening. Yeah, feel free to write us an email, doctoranddork@gmail.com, and check out our Instagram at doctorandork.
And if not, leave a comment on any of those any of the platforms we're on, and we will catch you guys next Tuesday.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.